Okay, I think we got all that. I want to ask you just about two more things,
Yeah.
or two other guitar players that I know you have relationships, or something with, history with. Yeah. Let's be careful about that one. Okay. Because obviously a huge influence in your life was Chet Atkins.
Yeah.
And we were talking just this morning about how coincidentally karmic things happen to musicians or something,
Sure.
and you became acquainted with somebody in his family first, I think, right?
His brother-in-law,
Chicago,
Jethro Burns, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that eventually led you to. I mean, Jethro sent you to him and said, "You got to go see Chet," or what was the path having met?
Yeah, Jethro said, "Well, you got to meet my brother-in-law, Chet."
Yeah.
And
so that was quite an honor, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just
So, but when I met him, it was just kind of like I met my uncle. He was just very unassuming and said, "Here, try this," and then just play some tunes for me and showed me some things. And I wasn't playing concerts yet. I was just playing in a hotel, and a hotel lobby. And Chet said, "Well, I'll send you some tunes that you can, play on your hotel gig." And so, I thought it's one of those things that people say they're going to do, and then it never really happens. Come on,
and this is a hotel in Chicago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Park Hyatt Hotel. I
Okay.
played 6 years, and so I didn't expect that to happen. And a few weeks later, I got this tape in the mail of all tunes that he'd recorded in his basement for me. And I think some of those tunes are now released in something called the Basement tapes. So somebody found those posthumously and released them.
Were these songs that he hadn't otherwise recorded?
He hadn't recorded this way. I think he'd recorded them in maybe
a band setting
with a band setting or something. Yeah. And so, a lot of tunes I recorded on my Heartstrings recording. The Mr. Bojangles and a bunch of tunes that he showed me, and then I would send him some of my compositions, and so we'd send tunes back and forth. And finally, it started coming out to Nashville and hanging around the office until finally he'd break down and say, "Okay, Muriel, I'll show you this."
Yeah. Wow.
So it was really informal over a period of time, my music keeps changing, and so I don't always, a lot of those is like you say, have faded out of the repertoire. I've kind of gone other directions musically, but it was an education in how to arrange and also an education on staying inspired and continuing to learn new things throughout your life. He was learning things from young players when he was a very old man.
Yeah.
And so he was always interested in what the young players were doing who were coming to Nashville.
Yeah. Wow. I had a slightly similar experience with John Renbourn, who was like my biggest influence, and it was luckily about 3 or 4 years before I met him. I got really lazy as a guitar player. I was really comfortable just teaching, and I figured, anything that's out there, I can learn anything I want, and then I thought, I should challenge myself. I should take something that's really hard and see if I could really play it or something, And so I had two pieces flash through my head. One was this, Steve Howe's tune.
Oh yeah.
And I chose not to do that one. I mean, I play it now, but anyway. And the other was a Renbourn piece called Pharaoh's Rag. That would go like this. Really neat ragtime piece that he put together. Stole some stuff from Giuliani or Carcassi, or there's a part that goes. Anyway, this fast arpeggio things. And anyway, I was really happy. I thought that was really fun. I should do that more often. Try to advance as a musician. Quit being so frickin' lazy. And then a couple years later, it led to meeting John and unbeknownst to me, playing that for him, it's like right on the spot, and it's like, and we became buddies like right then. He was so gracious and stuff. He kind of thanked me for going to the trouble to learn something so difficult.
Yeah. Well, you were playing a little bit of a Pat Metheny tune this morning.
There are two that I play.
Yeah.
One is Last Train Home.
Yeah.
That was probably the one you heard. I love that
Would
tune.
you teach me just a little bit of that?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's a nice song. It starts on A.
Yeah, so it's all revolving around A, and the challenge in that is keeping the train moving down the tracks. You know, keeping this strumming going as much as possible, so it's like you've got a percussionist. You know. And so in the beginning, it actually fades in and fades out. So even when I end this song, I end it with a fade out. Just kind of like let it until anyway. But so the idea is start really soon. We don't ever want to hear the thirds in this. So in the beginning when I'm strumming this, if I want to strum more, I'll add the high notes up there.
Okay.
You know, and then whenever we decide we want to start the melody, it's sliding up to the C sharp over still basically that A chord, and then it's a B chord with A in the bass. Oh. So we keep the C sharp ringing. We get an F sharp back here, first finger on the F sharp, because you're gonna need your third finger for D sharp, and then we gotta get the A in the bass there. Okay, so that's the B with A in the bass, but the melody is C sharp. So really, we just have two notes of a B chord, the D sharp and the F sharp, and so we don't even have a B in here. So calling it B with A in the bass is, a bit of a stretch, and then two notes of an A chord, right? So. Then to G down here, and I get a B in the melody. Right, so that's our opening melody. Hear it? Yeah. C sharp minor 7, F sharp minor. To a D major 7. Well, it's not going to be a major 7. It's really just D. Right, but we have to play it this way. It's a D chord with the A in the melody. Yeah. And so we got to get the F sharp here. We need the third of the chord, right?
Right.
And there's the melody.
Yeah.
And then to an E sus 4. For two measures, a little odd phrasing here because it's two measures of the suspension and then it resolves. Now we have this melody, F sharp minor. Yeah, B in the melody, yeah. To basically F sharp minor with E in the bass. And a C sharp in there, and then the whole thing turns into a D major 7.
Oh, nice.
C sharp minor 7 again. F sharp minor. Repeats that line. And then we get a soft A in there. There's these like little train whistling type things that kind of sneak in there, you know. Oh, and then we have the real whistle sound. Fourths. And then E in the bass. Back to our A. And that little vamp is A to E with A in the bass with a syncopated change, right? Same thing with F sharp minor 7. And E, yeah. So F sharp in the bass, A in the bass for both of them. Basically an A to an E chord, but with A in the bass the first time and F sharp in the bass the next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely.
It's pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I've always loved the song, and I don't know, a couple of years ago I just kind of sat down and I thought, wow, I wonder if I can turn that into a solo guitar piece.
Yeah, it works remarkably well.
It's really fun to play. Yeah, and then one of the problems with Pat Metheny tunes is, of course, when the band now plays them, now there's all these improvised parts, that come in, and and so he goes off on a solo. So what I do to, what I've worked on later was to play the melody an octave higher. C sharp minor, C sharp minor up there, right? To F sharp minor. D major 7. Oh, no major 7 in that. And then the same E sus4 that we used here, but now the melody is up here. Now the melody's going to go, but we need the bass to drop to F, so it's got to be this. Yeah, we got an F and an A flat up here. Right. This needs to be an E in the bass. Yeah, probably an A chord. Oh, that's what we want. An A kind of 6 with an E in the bass. We need a high D major 7. 14th fret, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just enough frets there.
Yeah.
Huh? Back to now we're into C sharp minor, F sharp minor stuff. And now we get into that fourth thing. This time we get the E and the B here. Sharp minor down here though. Yeah. So taking the melody into a second octave gives me a second verse.
Yeah, it works easily in that second octave, remarkably.
Yeah. So that's half my Pat Metheny repertoire. I'll save the other one for another time, but the other one is Jane's. It was really fun when I got off on that tangent and spent a while working on those two Pat Metheny tunes.
Oh, great.
So you'll put this on your next record, maybe, huh?
Oh, maybe.
But if you want to put it in your arsenal, I'll give you a lot more hints about it later on if you need, because there is another whole section.
Oh, okay.
It's really easy though. So there's a little bridge that happens at the end.
Well, that'll be fun to play together with Danny Gottlieb, my friend, who I've recorded with many times.
Okay.
Great drummer who played with Pat Metheny.
Yeah. Okay, so he probably knows the tune, I would think,
probably.
Too. Probably. Maybe even played on it. Yeah. And it was his job to be the train.
Oh, yeah, that's
brushes,
right.
They kept that tune driving.
Oh, he did such a fantastic job on, especially my Nightlight Daylight CD. Playing in 13/8 and just amazing drummer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we better wrap this up.
Yep.
That was really fun, and this is always neat. And I really always appreciate you taking time to that we can share with the Totally Guitars world and stuff.
Well, thank you for showing that Pat Metheny tune.
Sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. Love to see you do that on stage someday.
I probably will.
Okay. So, anyway, catch her if you can. She's wherever she is. I mean, she'll be someplace near you in the next year.
Yep, with my 20-string harp guitar too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, since they saw that in last year's video,
Yep.
I figured it was okay to break out
Sure.
this one now too. So, and plus with your slightly injury, we didn't want to play too much.
Yep.
So we did a lot of playing last year, a lot of talking this year instead. So
Okay.
anyway, thanks again, Muriel.
Thank you.